The rain-slicked streets of Manhattan gleamed under the sodium glow of street lamps as I clutched Elena's hand, our breaths ragged from the sprint down the fire escape. Her father's penthouse loomed behind us like a gilded cage we'd just shattered, his empire of pharmaceutical giants mocking our desperate flight. In that instant, with sirens wailing in the distance and her whispered, "I love you," cutting through the storm, I knew we'd traded everything for a heartbeat we couldn't yet name, but it was already too late to turn back. Elena's fingers trembled in mine, slick with rain and resolve, as we ducked into the shadowed alley behind the high-rise. She was 28, all sharp edges and inherited grace, the kind that turned heads in boardrooms and broke hearts in whispered confessions. I'd seen her first across her father's mahogany desk, where I slaved as his executive assistant, buried in spreadsheets and secrets that paid for my abuela's nursing home in Queens. Maria Ruiz, 26, invisible until the day she caught Elena staring, not at the reports, but at me, her gaze lingering like a promise neither of us could afford. That promise had bloomed in stolen moments, a brush of hands in the elevator, late-night texts disguised as work queries, the electric pull of her laugh echoing in empty conference rooms. Her father, Victor Hale, was a titan. Hale Pharmaceuticals churned out miracle drugs that saved lives and bankrupted rivals, his word law in the cutthroat world of biotech. Elena was his only child, groomed to inherit it all, but she chafed against the collar, her rebellion a quiet fire that drew me in like moth to flame. "You're not like them," she'd said one night, her lips inches from mine in the dim glow of my cramped apartment. "You see me, Maria, not the heiress." We'd planned it for weeks, her trust fund siphoned into a hidden account, my resignation letter drafted but never sent. The night we ran, it was impulse wrapped in inevitability, her father's announcement of her engagement to some venture capitalist drone, a merger masked as matrimony. "I can't breathe in that world anymore," she'd sobbed into my shoulder. And just like that, we were gone, tires screeching toward the Holland Tunnel, the city lights blurring into a rearview promise of freedom. The drive to upstate New York felt eternal, the Hudson River a dark ribbon beside us as dawn crept in, painting the sky in bruised purples. We holed up in a roadside motel off I-87, the kind with flickering neon and thin walls that echoed the couple next door's arguments. Elena paced the threadbare carpet, her designer coat discarded like shed skin, revealing the woman beneath. Fierce, flawed, utterly mine. "What if he finds us?" she murmured, collapsing onto the sagging bed, her green eyes wide with the terror of the unknown. "He won't," I lied, pulling her close, my heart pounding against hers. But Victor Hale didn't build an empire by losing track of loose ends. By noon, my phone buzzed with blocked numbers, voicemails from colleagues laced with veiled threats. "Maria, this is unprofessional. Come back, and we'll forget this lapse." Forget. As if loving Elena was a footnote in a quarterly report. We pushed on that afternoon, winding through the Catskills, the leaves turning crimson like warnings we ignored. Elena drove, her knuckles white on the wheel, while I scrolled job listings on my laptop, entry-level gigs in Albany. Anything to anchor us. "We'll start over," she said, her voice steadying as the mountains rose around us. "You and me. No empires, no expectations." I believed her then, in the way only fools in love do. Our first kiss, as fugitives tasting of salt and stolen time. By evening, we'd found a cabin rental in Woodstock, a weathered A-frame buried in pines, far from prying eyes. The realtor, a grizzled local with a suspicious squint, handed over the keys without questions. Cash has that power. Inside, the place smelled of pine sap and forgotten summers, a stone fireplace dominating the living room like a hearth for our fragile new world. Elena lit the fire while I unpacked our meager bags, her silk blouses folded beside my faded jeans, a collision of worlds we'd vowed to merge. That night, as flames danced shadows across the walls, We made love for the first time without fear of interruption. Her body was a map I'd memorized in glances, soft curves yielding under my touch, her gasps a symphony that drowned out the wind howling outside. "This is us," she whispered afterward, her head on my chest, fingers tracing lazy circles on my skin. Real. Raw. I held her tighter, ignoring the ache in my gut, the whisper that freedom always comes with a shadow. Days blurred into a tentative rhythm. Mornings, I'd hike to the village market for supplies, bartering smiles for fresh bread and gossip that skirted our anonymity. Elena, restless in her idleness, sketched designs on napkins, sustainable fashion lines she'd once dreamed of before her father's boardroom suffocated them. "Imagine it," she'd say, her eyes alight. "Clothes that empower, not ensnare." I'd nod, brewing coffee strong enough to chase away the chill, my own dreams deferred to the practical, resumes sent to remote admin jobs, a P.O. box for mail we hoped would never come. But Victor's reach was long. A week in, a black SUV idled too long outside the general store, its tinted windows swallowing my reflection. I slipped out the back, heart hammering, and confessed to Elena over a hurried dinner of canned soup. "We need to move again," I said, but she shook her head, fire in her gaze. "No. This is our stand, Maria. Let him come. I'll tell him everything." Everything. The word hung heavy, laced with the secrets we'd buried. Her coming out in whispers to a mother long gone from cancer, his dismissal as a phase that hardened into control. My own scars, growing up in a Bronx tenement, Abuela's rosaries clashing with my quiet queerness, the jobs that paid bills but chipped at my soul. Loving Elena had been my rebellion, a spark that ignited us both. We stayed, defying the ghosts. Fall deepened, leaves carpeting the ground in gold, and in those amber days, we found a fragile joy. Picnics by the stream, where she'd read poetry, Walt Whitman, his verses on comradeship wrapping around us like vines. Nights tangled in flannel sheets, her laughter bubbling as I taught her to salsa in the cramped kitchen, hips swaying to phantom rhythms from my childhood. "You're my escape," she'd murmur, but I wondered if I was hers, or just the key to a door she hadn't meant to lock behind. One crisp October morning, 2 months in, Elena emerged from the bathroom pale as frost, a plastic stick clutched in her hand. "Maria, it's positive." We talked about it in hypotheticals, IVF consultations in secret clinics, her frozen eggs from a just-in-case procedure years ago, my willingness to carry as the grounded one. But seeing the lines converge, stark against white, cracked open a future we'd only sketched. Joy crashed over us like a wave, tears mingling as we collapsed to the floor, her head in my lap. "Our baby," she breathed, hands splayed over my still flat belly. I was 6 weeks along, the embryo a tiny heartbeat we'd fight for. Doctor visits in Kingston confirmed it, viable, strong. We named the possibility Sophia, after my abuela, a nod to roots that grounded our flight. But elation soured with pragmatism. Prenatals, ultrasounds, costs we'd budgeted for in whispers, but Victor's shadow loomed larger. A letter arrived at the P.O. box, crisp stationery bearing the Hale crest. "Return, Elena, or lose everything." Everything. The implication chilled me. Her inheritance, our safety net, now a noose. We ignored it, doubling down on normalcy. Elena took a part-time gig at a local artisan shop, her charm selling pottery to tourists, while I freelanced virtual assistants, fingers flying over keys in the cabin's alcove. Sophia grew, kicks like Morse code against my ribs, a reminder that love demands more than escape. Holidays approached, Thanksgiving a makeshift feast of turkey from the market and stories of my family's tamales, Elena's eyes soft as she listened. Yet cracks formed. Nightmares woke her, visions of her father dragging her back, me and Sophia erased like a bad quarter. "He'll never accept this," she'd sob, and I'd hold her, whispering truths. "He doesn't have to. We do." But doubt crept in, a thief in the night, stealing sleep and sharpening tempers. One argument erupted over a forgotten doctor's bill, $800 we couldn't spare, her frustration boiling over. "I left it all for you." "For us," she yelled, then crumpled, apologies tumbling like leaves. I forgave, as always, because forgiveness was our glue. By winter's grip, snow blanketing the pines, Sophia was real, ultrasounds showing tiny fingers, a profile that mirrored Elena's determined chin. We decorated the cabin with strung lights, a nursery corner emerging from thrift store finds, a crib assembled by flashlight, mobiles of paper stars. "Our family," Elena said, painting a wall soft blue, her brushstrokes tender. Spring thawed the ice, but not the tension. At 20 weeks, a routine scan revealed shadows, a congenital heart defect, rare, treatable only with Hale's experimental beta blocker, a drug in trials that her father controlled. Without it, the cardiologist said gravely, complications post-birth could be fatal. Fatal. The word echoed, a death knell to our idol. Elena's face drained of color, her hand crushing mine. "We can't afford generics. They don't exist yet." Hale Pharmaceuticals held the patent, Victor's crowning jewel, priced for the elite. Our savings? A drop in the ocean. Desperation clawed at us, options dwindling. Crowdfunding begged exposure, clinics abroad unfeasible with my pregnancy. "We go back," Elena said finally, voice breaking in the dim exam room. "Not for him, for Sophia." I nodded, tears hot, the irony bitter. The empire we'd fled, now our child's lifeline. The drive south was a funeral procession, Manhattan's spires rising like accusatory fingers. Victor's doorman recognized us instantly, his nod curt as he summoned the elevator. The penthouse hadn't changed, marble floors echoing our footsteps, abstract art glaring judgment. Victor waited in the study, silver-haired and steely, a scotch in hand, Elena's fiancé nowhere in sight. Discarded, perhaps, for this prodigal return. "Daddy," Elena began, but he silenced her with a raised palm, eyes flicking to my swollen belly. "Explain." She did, words pouring like a confession. Our love, the flight, Sophia's peril. I stood silent, Maria the outsider, my hand protective over the bump that fluttered in fear. Victor's face was granite, but cracks showed, jaw tightening at lesbian, softening at grandchild. "You think you can waltz in after humiliating me?" he thundered, glass shattering against the wall. "The board whispers, investors pull back, because of your indiscretion." Indiscretion. Rage flared in me, but Elena stepped forward, fierce. "This isn't about you. It's about her life. Your drug, give it to us." He paced, a caged lion, then stopped, gaze piercing. "And what do I get? Loyalty? Your return to the fold." Elena hesitated, glancing at me, the weight of empires versus heartbeats. "Yes," she whispered, "but on our terms. Accept us, or lose us all." The silence stretched, taut as wire. Victor sank into his chair, aged decades in minutes. "The drug is yours. Trials start next month, you'll oversee them." A concession, wrapped in control. But as he turned away, muttering about lawyers, I saw it. Not acceptance, but the first fracture in his armor. We moved into a guest suite, a gilded exile, my belly growing under the city's hum. Elena navigated boardrooms by day, her sketches now proposals for inclusive health initiatives, chipping at the monolith from within. Nights, we'd steal to the rooftop, her hand on Sophia's kicks, our kisses defiant. "We're winning," she'd say, and I believed her, the hook of hope pulling us forward. But Victor's concession hid thorns. Leaks to the tabloids, Hale heiress's scandalous flight, splashed headlines, paparazzi swarming our exits. Elena's fiancé resurfaced, a puppet of Victor's, pressuring her with veiled threats. "Choose the family business or the freak show," he sneered in a clandestine meeting she recounted, tears streaking her face. Fury ignited me. Pregnant or not, I confronted him in the lobby, security hovering like vultures. "She's not a show, she's your daughter. And Sophia's your blood." He scoffed, but doubt flickered, his empire's isolation cracking under familial siege. As summer swelled, so did tensions. A board vote loomed on the drug's approval, Victor's legacy on the line, Elena's advocacy the wild card. She fought in heels and heart, pitching data laced with personal plea. "This saves lives like mine, queer families, hidden struggles." Allies emerged, diverse execs she'd mentored, their support a tide turning. Yet betrayal struck. The fiancé, desperate, tampered with trial samples, a sabotage exposed in lab logs Elena uncovered. Chaos erupted, FBI whispers, Victor's roar echoing halls. In the fallout, he turned to her, voice raw. "You were right. I almost lost everything chasing ghosts." The vote passed, Sophia's treatment secured, but the real trial was Victor's. Over late-night scotch, me with decaf tea, he shared fragments. Elena's mother, lost to the very cancers his drugs now cured, her queerness a secret buried in grief. "I feared you'd fade like her," he admitted, eyes wet. "But you burn brighter." Acceptance bloomed slow, a garden from ash. Victor attended the baby shower Elena insisted on, awkward with pink-wrapped gifts, his toast halting. "To family, however it grows." I watched him hold the ultrasound photo, wonder softening his lines. Labor came fierce in September, Manhattan General a whirlwind of beeps and Elena's grip bruising my hand. Sophia emerged at 3:17 a.m., a cry piercing the night, her tiny chest rising with hale resilience. Victor waited in the hall, then entered, cradling her with hands that built empires, now trembling. "She's perfect," he murmured, and in that gaze, I saw redemption's spark. Months later, as leaves turned again, we stood on that same rooftop, Sophia gurgling in Elena's arms, Victor below negotiating a new division, LGBTQ+ health outreach, Elena at helm. "We saved her," Elena whispered, kissing me soft. "But she saved us." Our love, once a runaway spark, had forged a legacy, not a flight, but a fierce belonging. In America's glittering heart, we'd carved space for us, 2 women, 1 child, a family unbound by blood or boardrooms, but by the unbreakable thread of choice. The penthouse nursery overlooked Central Park, autumn foliage a riot of reds and golds that Sophia would one day chase through. At 3 months, she was a chubby-cheeked wonder, her green-flecked eyes, Elena's gift, tracking the mobiles above her crib with solemn curiosity. I rocked her in the glider, humming a lullaby from my abuela's repertoire, the city's distant hum a lullaby of its own. Elena slipped in, tie loosened from another board skirmish, her smile weary but triumphant. "He approved the pilot program," she said, sinking beside me, fingers brushing Sophia's downy hair. "Queer family support, counseling, fertility grants. It's a start." A start. After the sabotage scandal, Victor had doubled down, channeling his fury into reform. The fiancé? Disgraced, exiled to some European outpost, his whispers of deviance drowned in lawsuits. But victory tasted bittersweet. Elena's days stretched long, her fire tempered by compromise. "Am I losing myself again?" she'd ask in the quiet hours, body curled against mine, Sophia's monitor beeping softly. "No," I'd assure, tracing the freckles across her nose. "You're reshaping the cage." And she was. Hale Pharma's halls buzzed with new voices, diverse hires, sensitivity trainings that chipped at the old guard's resistance. Victor, ever the strategist, leveraged it for PR gold, headlines shifting from "Heiress escapes lesbian lover" to "Hale family champions inclusivity." Yet shadows lingered. My own return to work was fraught. Victor offered my old role, but I negotiated remote consulting, guarding our bubble. Colleagues eyed me warily, whispers of the runaway, trailing like smoke. One lunch, a senior VP cornered me in the cafeteria. Bold move, Maria. But blood's thicker. Watch your step. Threat or warning. In Victor's world, lines blurred. Winter blanketed the city in white. Sophia's first snow, a bundled outing to the park. Elena built a lopsided snowwoman, Sophia giggling from her stroller, mittened hands waving. Victor joined unexpectedly, his overcoat dusted with flakes, offering a rare, crooked smile as he added a carrot nose. Like your mother, he said to Elena, voice gruff. Always making messes worth keeping. That night, over mulled wine, mine virgin for old time's sake, he pulled me aside. You saved her, Maria. For me, mostly. Confession hung heavy, his empire's weight evident in new lines around his eyes. I pushed too hard. Feared weakness in love. Weakness. The word stung, but I saw truth. His control, a armor against loss. Fear makes monsters, I replied softly. Love makes families. He nodded, clinking glasses, a truce sealed in crystal. Spring brought blooms and burdens. Sophia's checkups were milestones. Her heart, mended by the beta blocker, beat steady, a testament to fragile miracles. But Elena's program hit snags. Conservative board members balked at woke initiatives, funding slashed in whispers of shareholder revolt. Late calls pulled her from bed, arguments echoing through the phone. Fight it, I'd urge, but exhaustion etched her face, our intimacy fraying like old lace. One stormy April evening, it fractured. She stormed in, soaked, slamming doors. They called it a distraction, as if my life is their punchline. Sophia wailed from the nursery, and I rushed to soothe her, returning to find Elena slumped on the couch, head in hands. I can't do this, Maria. The empire's eating me alive. I knelt before her, cupping her face, thumbs wiping rain-streaked tears. Then we leave again. For real this time. No looking back. Her eyes searched mine, wild with want, but reality anchored us. Sophia's treatments, Victor's fragile thaw. What if he cuts us off? She whispered. He won't, I said, fierce. Not after seeing her. But doubt gnawed. Victor's love was conditional, a ledger balanced in favors. The crisis peaked at the annual gala, Hale's glittering affair at the Met. Elena, radiant in emerald silk that hugged her curves, presented the program to skeptical donors. I watched from the sidelines, Sophia with a sitter, my gown a thrift find that made me feel like an imposter among diamonds. Victor's toast praised her visionary spirit, but undercurrents swirled, a donor's hand lingering too long on her arm, murmurs of merry right from old allies. She shone, though, her speech a clarion. Innovation isn't just pills, it's people. Families like mine, building futures from love's hard edges. Applause thundered, but backstage, a board ally pulled Victor aside, voices low and sharp. I caught fragments, risky optics. Pull the plug. Elena overheard, crumbling in the powder room, mascara streaking like war paint. It's over, she choked, but I pulled her into a stall, kissing away despair. No. We expose it, go public, force their hand. Reckless, yes, but our love had always been a gamble. We leaked it anonymously, board emails, sabotage ties, to a queer outlet, the story exploding by dawn. Hale Pharma's hidden bigotry. Victor called furious. Who? But Elena confessed over breakfast, Sophia babbling obliviously. Us. For Sophia's world. Silence then. Meeting. Now. The boardroom was a battlefield, suits glaring as Victor entered, Elena at his side, me in the observer's chair, a first. She laid it bare. Love, flight, redemption through Sophia. Approve it, or lose the narrative and me. A standoff, hours ticking until Victor broke. We proceed. Full funding. Concessions followed, my input on policies, Elena's equity stake. Victory, hard won. tasted of sweat and solidarity. Summer solstice found us on a Long Island beach, Sophia's toes in sand for the first time, Elena and I barefoot, hands linked. Victor arrived with picnic baskets, awkward, sunburned, his gift to trust for Sophia, no strings. "Grandpa's fund," he grumbled, but his eyes shone as she cooed at him. As sun dipped, Elena leaned into me, Sophia dozing between. "We did it," she murmured. "Not just survived, thrived. Our kiss salted with sea, a vow renewed, love's not escape, but endurance, weaving empires into homes." Yet life's script twists. Fall brought a curve. Victor's diagnosis: early pancreatic, the irony cruel, his own drugs racing against time. Elena rallied. Boardrooms now her war room, experimental trials fast-tracked. I supported from home, Sophia's laughter a balm, but grief shadowed us, Victor's frame thinning, his bark softening to confessions. One crisp evening, in his study, he handed Elena the keys, literal and figurative. "It's yours now. Make it better." To me, "Thank you, Maria." For her, for this. His hand on mine, frail but firm, sealed forgiveness. He passed in winter's hush, a quiet exit, legacy reframed in obituaries praising his evolving compassion. The funeral was a spectacle, but our private rite, Elena's eulogy, tearful and true, honored the man who'd bent. Spring bloomed anew, hail under Elena's steady hand. Programs expanded, scholarships for queer youth, Sophia's namesake fund for pediatric hearts. We moved to a brownstone in Brooklyn, space for roots, my consulting firm budding, empowering Latinx women in tech. Sophia's first steps echoed in our halls, toward Elena's open arms, me capturing the blur on video. "Mama," she crowed, and in that word, multiplicity. Us, woven whole. Years folded like pages. Sophia at 5, braids flying as she sketched dresses like her mother's dreams, Victor's photo on the mantle a gentle ghost. Elena's empire? Transformed, sustainable pharma, global reaches touching lives like ours once touched by fear. One anniversary, rooftop under stars, echoing our flight. We dance slow, Sophia asleep below. From runaway to revolution, Elena teased, her laugh my anchor. And I'd choose it all again. Love's not a sprint from shadows, but a marathon through them, emerging scarred, stronger, into light that holds us all. Sophia's laughter rang through the brownstone like wind chimes in a Brooklyn breeze, her tiny feet pattering across hardwood as she chased the cat we'd adopted, a scruffy tabby named Shadow, fitting for our patched-together life. At 7 now, she was a whirlwind of questions and curls, her skin a warm blend of mine and Elena's sun-kissed glow, eyes holding that piercing green that could disarm boardrooms or melt hearts. "Mama, why do clouds look like elephants?" she'd ask, tugging my sleeve during story time, and I'd spin tales of skies that remembered lovers on the run, veiling our truths in whimsy. Elena thrived in the CEO's chair, her auburn hair now streaked with purposeful silver, a badge of battles won. Hale Pharma had morphed under her, the queer health division of Flagship, exporting fertility tech to underserved corners, my consulting arm partnering on outreach, workshops in the Bronx, empowering women like the girl I'd been, dreams deferred no more. Victor's shadow lingered in plaques and policies, but Elena honored it by dismantling the rest. Inclusive hiring quotas, profit sharing for frontline staff, a far cry from the monolith we'd fled. Yet peace, like love, demands vigilance. A merger loomed, a rival firm, Biogen, sniffing at Hale's patents, their CEO a slick operator with ties to Victor's old guard. Whispers in shareholder calls, dilute the social agenda, focus on bottom line. Elena fought it in glass towers, coming home drained, her fire banked but not extinguished. They're ghosts of Dad's era. She'd vent over dinner, Sophia coloring obliviously at the table. pushing traditional values like code for exclusion. I'd listen, rubbing her shoulders, Sophia piping up with crayon-scrawled superhero capes for Mom's armor. Those nights, after tucking her in with kisses and nightlights shaped like stars, Elena and I reclaimed each other. Slow dances in the kitchen to old salsa tracks, her body fitting mine like a key turned home. "You keep me grounded," she'd murmur, lips brushing my temple, and I'd pull her closer, grateful for the woman who'd chosen chaos with me. Summer brought a curveball. Sophia's school play, a rambunctious take on The Wizard of Oz, where she stole scenes as a pint-sized Dorothy, braids askew, ruby slippers clacking. Elena and I sat front row, her hand in mine unapologetic, drawing a few raised brows from PDA types but mostly warm applause. Backstage, amid glitter and hugs, a mother approached, warm smile, rainbow pin on her lapel. "Beautiful family," she said, and Elena's grin split wide, a victory small but seismic. But mergers breed monsters. Biogen's due diligence unearthed dirt, not ours, but Victor's buried skeletons. A 90s trial fudged for FDA approval, hushed payouts. Leaks hit the Times, stocks plummeting, Elena's inbox a war zone of resigned chants. She paced our living room, phone glued to ear, Sophia wide-eyed from the stairs. "It's sabotage," she hissed, collapsing onto the couch. "They want me out. Unstable leadership from the personal drama. Drama. Our life, reduced to tabloid fodder anew." I scooped Sophia up, retreating to her room for stories, but sleep evaded me. By midnight, Elena joined, curling fetal. "What if I lose it all? For us?" Her voice cracked, vulnerability raw. "Then we build again," I whispered, stroking her hair. "Like Woodstock. Like always." Dawn brought resolve. We hired investigators, traced the leak to a Biogen plant in Victor's inner circle, a disgruntled exec, bitter over reforms. Elena went nuclear, press conference, full transparency, offering the old files for audit. "Hale owns its past to shape its future," she declared, Sophia's drawing of a strong mommy pinned to the podium. The gambit worked. Stocks rebounded, Biogen blinked, merger terms rewritten with Elena's safeguards, ethics clauses, diversity mandates. But scars lingered. A lawsuit dragged, painting her as the runaway heiress still, dredging our flight in depositions. Sophia overheard snippets at school, coming home tearful. "Kids said you're weird. Like, bad weird." My heart splintered. That night, family meeting over ice cream, sundaes piled high, we unpacked it. "Weird's wonderful," Elena said, topping Sophia's with extra sprinkles. "Means we're real. Like superheroes with capes that don't match." Sophia giggled, doubts dissolving in chocolate, but I saw the toll. Elena's smiles forced, my own freelance gigs sidelined for damage control. Fall harvest brought harvest of another kind. Sophia's heart checkup, routine now, but shadows of what-ifs loomed. Clean bill, doctors grin wide, but Elena exhaled like surfacing from depths. "She's tough, like her mom's," the cardiologist said, and we nodded, teary, hands clasped over Sophia's chart. Victor's anniversary approached, a quiet vigil at his grave in Woodlawn, granite etched simple, wildflowers from Elena's garden. Sophia placed a pebble-painted rainbow, chattering to Grandpa about school, oblivious to our hushed grief. "He'd be proud," I said later, driving home through leaf-strewn streets. Elena squeezed my thigh, silent assent. Winter holidays glittered, tree trimming with Abuela via video, her rosary prayers mingling with menorah lights, Elena's nod to her mother's lapsed Judaism, a tapestry of us. Sophia's wonder lit the house, but a package arrived unmarked. Photos from our Woodstock days, cabin shots snapped by Victor's PI, captioned, "Remember who you were." Threat? Or plea? Elena burned them in the fireplace, flames devouring the past. "We're not running anymore," she vowed, ashes swirling like confetti. But fear festered, manifesting in nightmares, hers of losing Sophia, mine of empires reclaiming what we'd forged. Spring thawed resolve. Sophia's birthday bash, a backyard fete with piñatas and face paint, drew our patchwork tribe. Queer couples from Elena's programs, my Bronx cousins with tamale recipes, even a Hale exec with his husband, ties loosening. Laughter echoed, Sophia crowned in paper flowers, but as dusk fell, a call shattered it. Biogen CEO suing for defamation, demanding Elena's resignation. Storm clouds gathered. Elena met him in neutral ground, a midtown cafe, me eavesdropping from a booth. Your witch hunt ends, she said cool, voice steel. Or we go public with your board's homophobic emails. Bluff, half true, but it landed. He folded, settlement buried. Summer solstice again, beach ritual renewed, now with Sophia building sandcastles, Victor's trust funding her college dreams. Elena and I walked the surf, toes curling in foam, her head on my shoulder. From flight to fortress, she mused. Love's evolution, not endpoint. Yet life's not linear. Sophia at 10, braces glinting, declared her crush, a classmate, gender fluid, sparking the talk anew. We navigated it together. Elena's stories of hidden high school yearnings, my abuela's tales of quiet Bronx loves. Heart wants what it wants, I said, hugging her close. Own it, brave. Elena's empire stabilized, but personal tides shifted. A sabbatical proposed. Time for us, road trip west, chasing sunsets, Sophia's chatter filling the RV. Victor's legacy? A foundation now. Grants for queer families, Sophia volunteering at events, her small hands sorting donations. One desert night, stars blanket thick, Sophia asleep in the bunk, Elena and I on the roof, tangled in blankets. I'd run again, she whispered, fingers laced with mine. For this. Our kiss, vast as canyons, affirmed, love's not just survival, it's the spark that rebuilds worlds. Years layered like sedimentary rock. Sophia at 15, a teen firebrand, debate team star, advocating for trans rights in school halls, Elena's pride beaming, my worry a constant hum. Hale under her, a beacon, global clinics, our story anonymized in PSAs, inspiring runaways to return remade. A health scare hit, Elena's routine skin flagging anomalies, echoes of her mother's fate. Panic surged, but early catch, treatment swift, irony of Hale's own innovations saving her. Bedside vigils, Sophia's hand in mine, forged us tighter, Victor's ghost a comfort. Fight like hell. Recovery bloomed slow, Elena emerging fiercer, delegating more, time for pottery classes with Sophia, salsa nights with me. Our brownstone echoed with life, dinners raucous, arguments aired and mended. Love the mortar. Sophia's graduation loomed, cap and gown, her speech on families forged in fire, drawing tears. Elena gripped my hand, whispering, we started this. Post-ceremony, rooftop under city lights, full circle, we toasted with champagne, Sophia's future unfolding like dawn. From runaway whispers to revolutionary roars, our tale etched in heartbeats. Love defies, endures, redeems. In America's vast weave, we'd threaded our own. Vibrant, unyielding, forever entwined. Sophia's college acceptance letter arrived on a drizzly September morning, the envelope from UC Berkeley crisp against the breakfast clutter, pancakes half-eaten, her excitement bubbling over like the coffee pot on the counter. Mom, it's full ride, scholarship for queer leaders, she crowed, waving it like a flag, her braces swapped for a confident grin that mirrored Elena's unyielding spirit. At 18, she was a force, tall like me, with Elena's sharp wit and a mane of curls that defied humidity, her activism already rippling through op-eds on youth mental health in marginalized communities. Elena leaned against the fridge, arms crossed, her smile proud but laced with that parental ache, the empty nest looming like a storm cloud. Berkeley's perfect, she said, pulling Sophia into a hug that swallowed her whole. Far enough to fly, close enough for holidays.
Me?
I busied with dishes, throat tight. Our baby, the heartbeat that tethered us through tempests, now charting skies alone. But pride swelled. She'd inherited our grit, turning flight into forward motion. Hail Pharma hummed under Elena's stewardship, a behemoth bent benevolent. The Victor Hale Foundation doled out millions in grants. Sophia's summer internships they're seeding her poli-sci major dreams. My firm had grown too, Ruiz Empowerment Network, virtual hubs linking Lading's professionals to Hale's resources, a bridge from my assistant days to architect of change. Board meetings overlap now, Elena and I tag-teaming strategies over late-night wine, our partnership seamless on paper and in passion. But merger's ghost stirred. Biogen, licking wounds, launched a hostile bid, stockpiling shares, poaching talent with promises of unfettered innovation. Whispers in analyst reports. Hale's too soft, social priorities tanking ROI. Elena's response? A counteroffensive, open-sourcing non-core patents, allying with startups for agile R&D. They want war, she told me in bed, sheets tangled from lovemaking that still sparked like our first. We give evolution. Sophia's send-off party was a Brooklyn block bash. Tacos from my cousin's truck, drag queens from Elena's network performing lip syncs, neighbors toasting with mason jars of sangria. She danced under string lights, carefree, but pulled me aside mid-twirl. Mama M, promise you'll be okay without me bossing you? Her eyes, so like Elena's, held oceans of worry. Kiddo, I laughed, kissing her forehead, we're just getting our groove back. Go conquer. Empty nest hit like withdrawal. First week, the house echoed, meals for two, Sophia's room a shrine of posters and half-packed boxes. Elena filled voids with work, but cracks showed. Missed calls from Berkeley, her voice tinny over FaceTime. One night, rain lashing windows, she broke, curled on the couch, sobbing. She's gone, Maria. Our anchor. I held her, rocking like I had with Sophia, whispering, we're still us. The runaways who built this. Renewal came sly. Date nights rekindled. Rooftop jazz in Harlem. Her hand in mine electric as ever. Gray streaks in her hair catching candlelight like silver threads. We hiked the Catskills, echoing our cabin days. No baby kicks but heartbeats synced in rhythm. Remember the fire? She'd tease, nuzzling my neck by the stream. Burns brighter now. Fall deepened, leaves carpeting paths like confetti from Sophia's launch. Hale's annual summit loomed, a global convene on inclusive biotech, Elena keynote in G on love as catalyst for cure. I prepped her slides, infusing data with stories. Queer families accessing trials, Lading's coders revolutionizing AI diagnostics. Rehearsals in our living room turned intimate, her in lingerie, pacing quotes, me critiquing with kisses. Biogen escalated pre-summit, a smear campaign, anonymous posts dredging our past, Hale CEO's lesbian elopement, scandal or strategy? Paparazzi camped our stoop, flashes blinding as we left for the airport. Sophia, mid-lecture, texted Fury. Tell them to fuck off, proud of you. Elena's jaw set, but hurt flickered, old wounds reopening. The summit, in San Francisco's Moscone Center, was electric, thousands, diverse faces mirroring our mosaic. Elena took the stage, poise unbroken, weaving our tale anonymized. I ran once, from expectation to authenticity. That flight birthed innovations saving lives, like my child's. Gasps, then thunderous cheers, Biogen reps slinking in shadows. Q&A turned raw, a trans activist pressing on access equity, Elena's response unflinching. We're auditing every barrier. Join us. Post-talk, a lobby ambush. Biogen CEO, smirking, mic in hand. Romantic, Ms. Hale. But sentiment doesn't cure cancer. Elena, cool as steel, countered. It cures isolation. And that's the real epidemic. The room erupted, Viral clips trending, shares spiking as allies mobilized. Back in Brooklyn, winter's chill settled, but warmth bloomed. Sophia home for break, regaling us with dorm drama, her girlfriend, a poet with tattoos like maps, joining holiday feasts, awkward but earnest. Victor's tradition evolved. Foundation Gala, now a queer art auction, proceeds to youth shelters. Elena danced with me under chandeliers, Sophia twirling with her date, full circle grace. Spring brought Sophia's first crisis, a campus protest gone awry, arrest for trespassing during a divestment rally. Elena flew west, lawyer in tow, bailing her amid media frenzy. Hail heir's daughter in queer uprising. Courtroom tense, judge eyeing pedigrees, but Sophia's testimony, measured, fierce, swayed. Charges dropped, spotlight on reform. Summer healed. Family road trip redux, RV rumbling to national parks, Sophia shotgun with maps, Elena and I swapping drives and dreams. Around campfires, stories looped, our flight mythologized for Sophia's generation, lessons in love's logistics. You two are legends, she said one night, marshmallows gooey on sticks. Badass lesbians saving the world one heartbeat at a time. Elena's bid defense peaked, shareholder vote, Biogen's proxies voting no. We rallied, town halls virtual, testimonials from grantees, a trans dad crediting fertility grants, a Ladings mom whose kid's heart mirrored Sophia's. Vote passed narrow, hail intact, Elena's vision vindicated. Fall semester with Sophia back, her absence softer now. Elena and I leaned into legacy, co-authoring a memoir, Runaway Hearts, building from the brink, ghostwriters capturing our raw edges, flight's terror, Sophia's miracle, Victor's thaw. Excerpts leaked, pre-orders soaring, talk shows beckoning. Winter solstice, under a decked tree, Sophia FaceTimed from a holiday party, cheeks flushed. Love you both, infinity. Elena teared, I squeezed her hand. Anchors shift, but lines hold. Life's tapestry frays and mends. Sophia at 22, grad school bound. Her thesis on biotech ethics echoing Elena's fights. A hail crisis, data breach exposing patient queer statuses, tested us. Elena's all-nighters, my crisis comms, Sophia interning remotely, her coder friends patching firewalls. Through it, love anchored, stolen weekends in a cabin, now ours, firelit nights rekindling sparks. Still my runaway, Elena murmured, snow falling outside. Forever. From elopement's edge to empire's heart, we'd scripted a saga, not flawless, but fierce, love as verb, verb as victory, victories as vows renewed. Sophia's thesis defense loomed like a rite of passage, virtual screens flickering with her poised face amid Berkeley's sun-drenched quad, her voice steady as she dismantled ethical loopholes in gene editing. Equity isn't optional, she argued, slides co-crafted with Elena's data, my narrative flair weaving human stakes. At 24, she was eloquence incarnate, curls tamed into a professional bun, green eyes flashing conviction, her girlfriend Maya at her side, a steadying hand off camera. We watched from the brownstone, Elena gripping my knee, pride a palpable pulse. Our girl, she breathed as applause erupted digital, degree conferred with honors. Post-defense high carried us to a delayed celebration, Redwoods hike, then Napa Vineyard tour, Sophia and Maya toasting with sparkling cider, Elena and I with cabs that loosened tongues. Around a lantern-lit patio, stories spilled, Sophia's campus escapades, Maya's poetry slams, our own archives dusted off, Woodstock winters, rooftop buys. You made space for this, Sophia said, gesturing us all, tears glinting. Space. The gift we'd clawed from chaos. Hale's horizons expanded under Elena, a merger with a European green pharma startup, infusing sustainability into pipelines, my network bridging U.S. ladings innovators. Board dynamics shifted, Queer reps now majority, decisions laced with lived experience. But power's underbelly bit, a whistleblower claim, alleging favoritism in grants to personal connections. Probes launched, headline sniffing. Nepotism in Hale's rainbow empire? Elena weathered it steel-spined, but home front frayed. Sleepless audits, her temper short, our bed a battlefield of unspoken fears. They're painting me as the indulgence queen, she snapped one night, slamming a laptop. Sophia, visiting, mediated over takeout. Mom, fight facts, not feelings. Let me help, Data Dive. Team Ruiz Hale mobilized, unearthing the claim's architect, a spurned rival, ties to Biogen remnants. Case dismissed, but trust eroded, Elena retreating into work's armor. Summer solace. Family cruise to Alaska. Glaciers calving like applause for our endurance. Sophia and Maya kayaked fjords. Elena and I lounged deckside, her head on my lap, fingers toying with my wedding band, simple gold, exchanged in a quiet ceremony post-Sophia's birth, vows whispered under city stars. Remember the rain? She mused, salt air tangy. Our getaway symphony. Laughter bubbled, healing balm. Nights in cabin staterooms rediscovering rhythms, love's language fluent as ever. Fall brought Sophia's next chapter, fellowship in D.C., policy think tank on health equity, Maya relocating for grad school. Apartment hunts via Zoom, her excitement infectious, but goodbye lunch in Brooklyn ached, hugs lingering, tears masked as rain. Call weekly, Elena bossed, voice thick. Sophia rolled eyes. Or hourly, helicopter mom? Maya chuckled, pulling me aside. She's steel like you two, unbreakable. Empty again, Elena channeled into legacy, endowing a Hale chair in queer bioethics, Sophia's alma mater beneficiary. My firm scaled, satellite offices in LA, Miami, empowering voices like mine once silenced. Joint TED Talk beckoned. From fugitives to foremothers, our story scripted for stages, rehearsals turning intimate, her cues met with kisses, nerves dissolved in touch. Winter's grip tightened with a twist. Elena's book tour for our memoir, cities blurring, Chicago blizzards, Seattle rains echoing our flight. Sophia joined segments, panel trios dissecting love's logistics, audiences wrapped with queer elders sharing parallels. One Q&A, a young runaway clutched my arm post-talk. You give me hope for my boss's kid crush. Full circle, hearts mended in murmurs. But tour's tax. Elena's voice hoarse. My arm her crutch through airports. Sophia's text lifelines. Proud AF moms. Homecoming healed. Fireplace crackling. Memoir royalties funding a cabin expansion. Sophia's room guest ready for holidays. Spring bloomed controversy. Hale's gene therapy trial, CRISPR for hereditary diseases, hit ethics snags, consent issues in low-income cohorts. Activists picketed, Sophia at forefront, her op-ed in The Guardian calling for pause. Elena agonized. She's right, but lives hang. Families summit via video, Sophia's laptop glowing. Transparency, Mom. Like you taught. Compromise forged. Trial halted, redesigned with community boards, my network vetting participants. Summer marked our silver. 25 years since that fire escape dash. Anniversary gala. Intimate, Brooklyn loft, queer icons toasting, Sophia emceeing with Maya, rings exchanged anew in a vow renewal, officiant a drag ante with flair. Through flights and fights, Elena pledged, eyes locked on mine, you're my horizon. Tears flowed, Sophia's hug enveloping. Gross but goals. Fall's fellowship intensified for Sophia. Bills drafted, hearings testified, her star rising. A scandal rocked D.C. Leaked memos exposing anti-LGBTQ riders and health bills. Sophia's testimony viral, death threats ensuing. Elena flew east, bodyguard in tow, me coordinating security. Maya her rock. This is why, Sophia whispered post-hearing, exhausted but electric. For the next runaways. Winter solstice, under snow-dusted tree, we gathered, Sophia home, Maya integrated, tales of triumphs. Elena's gift to me, a locket with our flight photo, faded but fierce. Eternal escape, engraved inside. Life's plot thickens. Sophia at 28, engaged to Maya in a courthouse whim, rings simple as ours, reception a potluck of histories. Elena walked her down an aisle of wildflowers. I teared from front row, full hearts overflowing. Hale's next era. AI-driven diagnostics, ethical guardrails Sophia consulted on, my firm partnering for access. A personal quake. Elena's menopause, hot flashes and moods, a new vulnerability. Our roles reversing, me the steady, her the storm. Nights of fans and fansies, laughter reclaiming bodies changing. Sophia's first. Twins announced spring, IVF miracle. Our genes mingled in vials. Grandma's, she beamed, ultrasounds shared over brunch. Elena's joy boundless, planning nurseries with vigor, me grounding. One heartbeat at a time. Summer birth, chaotic joy, boy and girl, cries harmonizing, names Victor and Rosa, nods to ghosts benevolent. Hospital vigil, Elena cradling, Sophia beaming, Maya exhausted glorious. Cycle complete, I whispered, kissing Elena's temple. Fall's harvest, family compound in the Catskills, cabins linked, Sophia's crew visiting, Elena's retirement teased, foundation full-time, travels with me. Winter's hush, snowshoeing woods, twins bundled, stories by fire of runaways remade. From desperate dash to dynasty of hearts, our narrative endures. Love not endpoint, but ever-unfolding epic, threads of us weaving wider worlds. The Catskills compound sprawled like a love letter to our origins, a cluster of A-frames linked by boardwalks, pines whispering secrets to the wind, the original cabin at center, its stone hearth now a communal heart. Sophia's twins, Victor Jr. and Rosa, VJ and Rosie to us, toddled the paths at 2, chubby legs unsteady, their laughter a chorus that drowned old echoes. Sophia and Maya thrived in DC policy wars, commuting weekends, their energy fueling Elena's foundation dreams. At 53, she was silver-crowned grace, her retirement a semi-sabbatical. Board oversight from a laptop, globe-trotting with me for grant site visits, clinics in Mexico City, labs in Cape Town, our hands linked across borders. My network had roots deep now, chapters in 10 cities, mentoring cycles complete as ments became mentors, Lading's women CEOs crediting my runaway resilience workshops. Joint ventures with Hale flourished, app for queer health navigation, my voiceover guiding users through shadows we'd mapped. But age's quiet insurgency crept, knees creaking on hikes, Elena's laughter lines deepening, our bodies maps of miles run together. Spring brought Sophia's milestone, congressional run, health equity platform, her campaign a whirlwind of town halls and fundraisers. Elena fundraised fierce, I strategized grassroots, Bronx rallies echoing my abuela's fire. VJ and Rosie campaigned in tiny Vote Mama tees, stealing hearts on C-SPAN. Polls tight, opponents slinging mud. Hale Dynasty's puppet, dredging our saga for smears. Sophia parried poetic, Maya's speeches surgical, our family fortress unbreached. Summer scorcher tested, heatwave stalled rallies, Elena fainting at a picnic, dehydration masking deeper, a routine check flagging arrhythmia, echo of Sophia's infancy. Panic flashback, but monitor steady, pacemaker whispered. Surgery swift, recovery in the compound, me bedside, Sophia pausing campaign, twins clambering with drawings. Like old times, Elena joked, weak but wicked. You nursing me through folly. Tears mask laughs, love's labor eternal. Fall elections pulsed electric, election night, compound packed, Sophia's team, Maya's clan, screens flickering results. Wins narrow, seats secured, cheers erupting as confetti rained. Sophia's victory speech, twins on hips. From family flights to freedom fights, this is for every heart that dared. Elena wept in my arms, pride profound. She soars. Winter's blanket brought introspection. Holidays hybrid, DC crew northbound, feasts fusing tamales and turkey. Rosie's first words, Gamma. Melting Elena. Foundation Gala virtual, honoring queer pioneers. Our memoir adapted. Streaming series greenlit. Casting calls buzzing. Play Us Fierce. Elena directed producers. My input on authenticity. No gloss, just grit. Life layered complications. VJ's preschool diagnosis. Mild autism. Sensory quirks. Rattled Sophia. Therapies budgeted but stigma stung. Elena mobilized resources. I connected to lading support nets. Maya advocated fierce. Spectrum strong. We chorused at IEP meetings, turning fear to framework. Rosie's empathy a sibling superpower. Spring renewal. Elena's 60th. Surprise luau in the compound. Tiki torches, hula lessons. Sophia's toast roasting, the bossiest runaway. Gifts practical. Custom knee braces for hikes. A scrapbook of our arc. Pages from flight notes to foundation charters. Nightcap by fire. Elena's head on my lap. 60 feels like starting over with you. Summer travels. Elena and I to Santorini. Whites and blues a balm. Cliffside dinners dissecting dreams deferred. Her fashion sketches revived. My novel outline dusted. Write our untold, she urged, waves lapping. Back home, Sophia's session swamped. Bill's bottlenecked. Compromises corrosive. Compassion fatigue, she confessed over wine. Twins asleep upstairs. How'd you balance empire and heart? By leaning, I said, Elena nodding. Mentorship reversed. Our wisdom her wind. Fall's Harvest Moon saw series premiere. Runaway hearts. Actors channeling our fire. Trailers viral. Queer youth demanding thanks. Controversy sparked. Conservative boycotts. But streams soared. Dialogues ignited. Elena guest-starred cameo. Sophia consulted plot. Family viewing party cathartic laughs and tears. Winter solstice. Under solstice lights. VJ's light show for Rosie's doll tea. Elena's arrhythmia check clear. Foundation milestone. Billion in impact. Gala hybrid honoring us. Founders of fierce. Speech tandem. Hands clasped. Love fled, then led to here. Aging's arc bent. Sophia at 32. Congressional firebrand. Twins schoolbound. Maya eyeing DA run. A Hale succession plan. Niece groomed. Elena advisory. Freedom beckoning. My novel published. Memoir shadow. Fiction from fractures. Bestseller in niche. Tours with Elena tag-along. Flirting in green rooms. Personal quake. Abuela's passing. 98. Peaceful in Queens. Rosary in hand. Funeral blended. Bronx church. Compound burial plot beside Victor. Sophia's eulogy bridging worlds. Faith in love's many faces. Grief communal. Healing in tamale bakes. Stories swapped. Spring's thaw. Elena's fashion line launch. Sustainable queer couture. Sophia modeling. Twins ring bearers at runway show. Reviews wrapped. Sales swift. Her sketches alive in fabrics flowing. Summer's heat. Family reunion grand. DC, Brooklyn. Global kin. Compound bursting. Games, grills. Ghosts gentle. Victor's photo toasted. Abuela's recipes recited. Night swims. Elena and I floating. Stars mirror. Eternity's just us amplified. Fall foliage framed Sophia's re-election. Landslide this time. Platform expanded. Universal queer care. Elena's foundation partnered federal. My network grassroots engine. Winter's hush. Twins holiday pageant. VJ's lines memorized. Rosie's songbird solo. Post-show Coco. Elena's whisper. Our legacy sings. Decades distilled. From desperate duo to dynasty diverse. Love's ledger balanced and lives lifted. Hearts held. No end. Just ever. Runaways rooted. Blooming boundless. The compound's great room, expanded with Elena's fashion revenue, glowed under recessed lights, walls lined with family portraits, Sophia's campaign shots beside our Woodstock Polaroids, VJ and Rosie's crayon art framed like masterpieces. At 35, Sophia commanded committee hearings with the poise of Parliament's past, her bills birthing the Equity and Health Act, mandating inclusive trials nationwide. Maya, DA now, prosecuted white-collar bigots with surgical strikes, their partnership a power duo parenting with playdates and policy nights. The twins, 5 and fierce, navigated kindergarten with VJ's quiet brilliance, coding apps for fun, and Rosie's stage charisma, already in community theater. Elena's retirement was reinvention, atelier in the village, couture commissions for queer icons, runway shows funding foundation scholarships. Gray hair cropped chic, she moved with intentional grace, our morning walks hand in hand, dissecting dreams over coffee, her next collection Flight Threads, inspired by our dash. My novel's sequel Brood, weaving fiction from foundation tales, tours paused for this, grandmothering, grounding the whirlwind. Spring scandal rocked Sophia, leaked affair rumors, fabricated by a rival's pack, photos doctored of her with an intern. Media frenzy, DC tabloids howling, hail hypocrite. She denied fierce, Maya stood stalwart, but polls dipped, family call urgent. Fight dirty back? Elena advised. No, transparency offensive, presser with us flanking, Sophia's voice steel. Lies can't touch truth. My family, my fight for all families. Elena's legal team sued for defamation, evidence mounting, whispers of biogen ghosts resurfacing. Summer's siege, trial testimony, Sophia grilled, Elena's poise coaching her through. Verdict, millions awarded, pact dissolved, but emotional toll carved deep, Sophia's insomnia echoing Elena's old nights. Compound retreat healed, twins splash pad chaos, Maya's mock trials with VJ as prosecutor, Rosie's skits roasting the scandal. Superhero moms, Rosie declared, cape flapping, restoring Sophia's spark. Falls Phoenix, re-election armored, act passed with fanfare. White House signing, Sophia at podium, Elena and I in gallery. Tears discreet. Post-ceremony toast, Oval whispers. Your runaways built this. Legacy landed. Winter warmth, twins Chinukma's mashup, Maya's heritage shining, lax with tamales, VJ's dreidel-rigged fair, Rosie's songs multilingual. Elena's collection debuted NYC Fashion Week, flight, gowns flowing defiant, Sophia front row in power suit, twins flower girls scampering runway. Aging skift and gripe, my 60th surprise safari, Elena chartering to Kenya, safaris at dawn, her binoculars spotting lions, my journal capturing metaphors of pride. Back, health nudge, cholesterol nudge, statin swallowed with wry grins. Elena's follow-up, creative block, sketches stalled. Muse me, she begged, and I did. Weekend in Paris, Louvre lingers, sane picnics reigniting her line. Spring's bloom, Sophia pregnant again, boy, via donor, family swelling. Ultrasounds shared, names brainstormed, Elena knitting booties, me organizing nursery co-op with network moms. But Joy Jared, foundation audit flags, minor embezzlement, rogue accountant siphoning grants. Elena's fury glacial, investigation swift, perp prosecuted by Maya. Trusts tissue thin, she confided, but reforms fortified. Blockchain tracking, Sophia's oversight. Summer solstice ritual evolved, compound bonfire, now with grandkids esmores, stories generational. Our flight myth to Sophia's hearings, twins wrapped. Elena and I slow danced embers glow, her whisper, still fleeing into you. Fall harvest, new baby's arrival, little Mateo hail Ruiz, cries joining chorus. Hospital haze, Elena cradling, Sophia beaming, Maya snapping pics, twins peeking curious. Full house, I murmured, heart brimming. Winter's weave, expanded holidays, Matteo colicky but conquerable, VJ's gadget gifts, Rosie's puppet shows. Series Season 2 dropped, our cameos lauded, residuals funding scholarships. Life's lattice complicated. Sophia at 39, congressional leadership bid, war rooms with Elena strategizing me mobilizing bases. Rival unearthed dirt, Victor's old trial, twisted as Hale corruption cover. Hearings hounded, but Sophia's defense masterful. Past owned, future forged. Bill blocked, but base rallied, bid secured. Elena's atelier thrived, but creative crossroads. Mentorship program, young designers under wing. Flight apprentices echoing our start. My third book, fiction on queer elders. Launched to acclaim, tours with Elena, hotel nights hot as youth. Personal pivot, twin school drama, VJ bullied for weird stims, Rosie defending fierce. PDA battles, Elena's clout, my advocacy, resolution in inclusive policies, but home debriefs deep. World slow, Sophia sighed. We speed it. Spring spark, Matteo's baptism hybrid, rosary and rainbow, Abuela's spirit invoked. Foundation gala record-breaking, honoring Sophia's act. Summer surge, family Eurotrip, trains to Tuscany, twins tricycling vines, Matteo backpacked, Elena sketching landscapes, me noveling in cafes. Scandal echo, paparazzi tailing, old flight pics resold. Elena's retort, Instagram post us mid-kiss, timeless trouble, viral empowerment. Falls fervor, Sophia's leadership win, committee chair, bills cascading. Elena's collection collab with Sophia, policy wear, suits for activists. Winter solstice, bonfire tales, Matteo's first giggle, legacy lit. Decades danced, from duos dash to dozens dynasty, love's loom endless, patterns profound, threads of trial to triumph, forever our fabric. Matteo's gurgles filled the compound sunroom, 6 months of gummy smiles and grabby hands turning board books to battlefield. VJ, at 10 now his pint-sized tutor in block towers, Rosie directing plays, with dolls as senators. Sophia's chairmanship bore fruit. Bipartisan pacts on mental health parity, her floor speeches poetic thunder, Maya's DA office netting convictions in pharma fraud rings, echoes of Victor's shadows purged. At 41, Sophia was stateswoman stature, silver threading her curls like Elena's, her energy a blend of our fires tempered by time. Elena's mentorship bloomed ateliers global, pop-ups in Tokyo, Bogota, young queer designers debuting under her eye, Flight Collective, a force in fashion weeks. We wintered in the compound, summers Mediterranean, our rhythm retired rich, mornings yoga on decks, afternoons writing, her journals, my manuscripts, evenings wine tastings with Sophia's policy war stories. My network spanned continents, virtual villages empowering elders, a podcast runaway roots, interviewing survivors like us. Spring's shadow, Rosie's tween angst, crushes complicated, first period navigated with Sophia's calm, Elena's tampons tutorial, my abuela anecdotes. Boys, girls, hearts the guide, we chorused but school whispers stung, a cyberbully campaign targeting Hale weirdos. Maya traced IPs, legal slapdown swift, but therapy session surfaced. Am I too much? Rosie asked. Perfect measure. Elena hugged. Our family therapy is safety net woven wide. Summer spotlight. Sophia's keynoter at UN Women's Forum. Elena and IVIPs. Twins live-streamed from camp. Speech soared. Equities echo from elopements. Global headlines but backstage threat. Anonymous note. Runaways end bad. Security upped. Paranoia prickled. Old flight fears flickering. Sophia brushed it. Haters haunt heroes. But Elena's insomnia returned. My arms her anchor anew. Falls forge. Investigation pin the note. Disgruntled exhale. Biogen affiliate. Arrested quiet. Sophia's bill passed Senate. presidential pen poised, celebration White House dinner, family tuxed, Mateo babbling at carrots, VJ quizzing aides on code. Post-dinner, rose garden stroll, POTUS to Elena. Your story sparked mine. Legacy landed light. Winter's warmth, twins' holiday recital, VJ's robot demo, Rosie's soliloquy from Rent, Mateo clapping chubby hands. Foundation's annual VR exhibit of our ARC, immersive flight sim to Foundation halls, proceeds shattering records. Aging's artistry, Elena at 65, hip replacement, dancing days paused, but PT hikes reclaimed steps, my novel tour assisting, hotel massages mutual. Sophia's midterms loomed, 43 now, whispers of gubernatorial run. Legacy trap, she confided, twins tucked. Or launch. Elena counseled, I grounded. Your flight, kiddo. Spring surprise, VJ's coding prodigy, app for neurodiverse social cues, pitched at Youth Summit. Elena funding prototype, my network beta testing. Pride swelled, Rosie's theater troupe debuting runaway stages, queer youth play inspired by us. Summer solstice grand, compound festival, collective runway under stars, Sophia's bill signing streamed, family feast fusing global, sushi tamales, twins fusion dances. Elena and I waltzed closing, her hip steady, my heart full. Circles complete. Falls fire. Gubernatorial bid announced, Sophia's campaign machine revving, Maya pausing DA for strategist, us grandmoms on trail, rallies in Iowa diners, my Spanish bridging bases. Opponent slung dynasty diva, but Sophia's retail charm, our cameos authentic, polls climbing. Winter election eve, compound war room, screens aglow, twins in PJs tallying, Mateo asleep on my chest. Wind projected midnight, cheers seismic, Sophia's call teary. For you two, pioneers. Inaugurations sworn January, snow falling soft, Elena's hand in mine, tears freezing cheeks. Life's lyrics swelled. Rosie at 13, coming out by, family brunch casual, hugs immediate, Elena's welcome home profound. VJ's app launched, scholarships attached, foundation tie-in. Elena's 70, galactic gala, space-themed, collective gowns cosmic, Sophia toasting, stars we chased. My memoir update, Hearts Unbound, bestseller Redux, tours tandem. Sophia's governorship, reforms rippling, statewide queer health mandate, echoing our fight. Mateo at 3, chatterbox echoing VJ's quips, Family Fridays compound chaos joyful. A quake quiet, Elena's memory slips, names fumbling, dates blurring, early dementia whisper. Consults confirm, trials start, irony of Hale's neurodrugs. Sophia mobilizes research, I diary daily, our story scripted for posterity. We'll write this chapter too, Elena vows fierce. Spring strength, support circles form, my podcast episodes on elder love, Rosie's play touring, VJ's app adapting for caregivers. Summer's serenity, adapted travels, cruises calm, Elena's sketches memory mapped, my readings her cues. Fall's fortitude, Sophia's national buzz, VP shortlist, but family first, compound anchored. Winter solstice, lights twinkling, Elena's story led, twins carols, legacy luminous. Saga span, from fugitive firsts to familial forever, love's ledger luminous, endless, embracing all.